Okay, I have Nisha Helmig here. I'm sitting right here on Salt Spring Island in her home, and I came all the way here because she has made a difference in my life 8 years ago when I got this life purpose hand reading from her, and she is a hand analysis. Welcome, Nisha.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome. And
Yeah.
by the way, is her hair gorgeous or what? Believe it or not, her hair color is all herbs. We used the henna, indigo, cassia, as well as amla, all four on her hair, mixed only with water and tea, ginger, a little bit of lemon. And she's left it on for about 4 hours. We used Goddess Beauty, the brand from New York. And I just absolutely love that we can do hair color without chemicals.
I know. And for me, I had stopped doing my hair. Mona used to do my hair, and I was like, I'm not putting any of those chemicals on my hair anymore. So don't talk to me about it. Then she turns up and at my birthday and surprises me, hi, I'm going to do your hair. And it's all natural. And
we should do a before and after of that one.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, we should, because it was just amazing. So this like takes 10 years off me, having this natural color, because now I'm in my 70s and I'm starting to get gray, but you would never know it.
And let me, don't get us wrong, because like I actually really loved her hair gray as well.
Yeah,
and it looked really good on her.
Yeah.
And it was just, you just wanted to have a change.
Yeah. Yeah. And because this is natural, then, it just washes out over time. And so if I want to let it go in between times, it's fine, but yeah, it feels great.
But I do think that she does look younger.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Useful. That's the
Useful.
word.
Yes.
Yeah. And very healthy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to know and share with everyone why it is important to have a life purpose hand reading. Because I mean, really, we're not born with knowing what we're here to do.
Right. So it's quite amazing, but we've all heard about fingerprints, right? So fingerprints actually hold the information that tell us our life purpose. So, and why is it important to know that? Because when we know a clear direction and without doubt, and when you hear your life purpose, there's always a resonant feeling inside. And when you start living into that life, and it's literally written in our hands, if we want to know, we have a personal instruction manual here that just tells us. And Crazy. It makes all the difference to be on track.
Wow, that's crazy. And I heard that these things, these fingerprints don't change, but your handprint changes. What does that mean?
Okay, so what that means is, I mean, think about this. I thought about this deeply the other day. I don't know of anything else in our body that doesn't change other than our fingerprints. If you're 3 months old or you're 93 years old, your fingerprints are the same. And that's why the police use them to identify us with, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and it's the only thing in the hand that doesn't change. Everything else in the hand can change. For instance, see this little finger? It's a different shape. I bet you I wasn't born like that. But that means something. So
I want to know what that means. You know what that means?
Yes.
Or is it private?
It's an issue with trust out in the world. Okay. So it's an issue with trust out in the world. And that came from certain experiences that I had when I was younger. Okay. So that's that. So the fingerprints, first of all, let me say this. There's a neurological connection between our brain and the hands. So basically, as you thinketh, if you think a thought a zillion times, a line will appear in your hands expressing that. It's quite amazing. And science is starting to come out with more and more things, doing research around that and proving that. And so, and our brain is formed 4 months in utero. Our fingerprints are etched into our little fingers 5 months in utero. So the information that's encoded in your fingerprints has nothing to do with your mind, nothing to do with your brain. And we look at that as coming from the soul level, this is your divine blueprint, and it is literally written in your hands. So 5 months before you're born, your life purpose for this lifetime is here. And so to be able to find this out, even for parents, I'm going to be soon reading hands for a family of with the parents and 3 children. It's so amazing for people to know what the life purpose is of their children so they can support them in going in the right direction.
And their life lesson.
And their life lesson. So what's in the fingerprints is actually the highest ranking fingerprints and where they're located in the hand tell us your life purpose. And then the lowest ranking fingerprints and where they're located tell us your life lesson. And your life lesson is like a blind spot. Oftentimes you really don't see it. And even if you do see it, you don't want to deal with it. You just want to ignore it because it's difficult. It can be difficult. But once we know it, and that is the key to unlocking your life purpose fully, is when you grapple with your life lesson, then your life purpose really unfolds in an easeful and graceful way. And when you're living your life purpose, then you're in alignment with soul. You're in alignment with your higher self. And that means that you are now living a life that is meaningful and satisfying to you. I call it your right life. And it's just, it's incredible.
Well, I want to live my life, right life.
I know.
I do.
And so what about your life purpose when you heard it?
Well,
and your life
okay.
lesson?
When I first heard it was 2012. And I remember I just bawled my eyes. And I was so grateful that that is what my life purpose is. However, I was so far away from it. I was just like, I can't do that. And I just remember, like, when you read it a few more times after, 5 years later, I'm like, well, I'm not dead yet. I guess I can learn. Right? So
yeah, it takes a while sometimes for it to land, and we see it. But, I could see it in you. So your life purpose is successful. Successful means tangible results in the world. I don't know anybody more tangible than you getting things done. My God.
thank you.
Tangible results, successful, mentor, teacher to artists, and by artists, that's the broad stroke of the world, to creative individualists in the world, and to encourage them to bring their message out. So it's an act of empowerment. And what was your life lesson? It was fear of being in your power. So your affirmation for that was, I reclaim my power. Now we say that your life purpose is powerful, successful mentor, teacher to artists in the world.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
To artists in the spotlight. And what have you done? Because of your work is the world of beauty. And I have seen people I'm getting goosebumps in, weddings or photo shoots that you've done where you absolutely bring out, and the Apollo finger, this is the finger of the artist, is also all about beauty and aesthetics, right? Which is what you've been involved in your whole life. So it's like bringing this whole aspect of beauty and putting people in the spotlight. And that's what you do, right? You're putting me right now in a spotlight. You're putting yourself in a spotlight.
So does that mean I'm living my purpose right now?
Yes, you are. And so you're no more afraid to stand in your power and go do it. And I watched you grapple with that and take risks and do it anyway. Because once you know, then you're at choice. Do I choose to step into my power, or do I choose not to?
Right.
And sometimes we choose not to because the fear is too great.
It really is. It's one of the most scariest things to be able to speak in the public, or, even doing something like this. Really took me a long time to really get to this. And thank you to some of my mentors like Julie Blue for helping me learn how to project my voice and sing. And from there, then I'm like, okay, it's the same concept. So yeah, so many great mentors. So I just want to say, I'm grateful to know my life purpose. So now then I felt aligned right away that I can actually learn to get to that place, and it feels right. And even my life lesson, I was just like, giving my power away. My life lesson is to to take my power back.
That's right.
I mean, I even give my power to my kids. I give my power to freaking everybody, excuse my language. And it really sucks because now I am aware of it. I'm like, oh yeah, just kind of not give it.
That's right.
But be boundaried. Yeah.
Becomes a choice, a conscious choice. So you start living a more conscious life in alignment with who you truly are. And there's nothing more satisfying than, giving your gifts. We're all here to give you gifts. There's one more aspect that I want to talk about in your fingerprints, and that is the school of consciousness. We call it your spiritual training ground. And from my perspective, if I've read hundreds of hands, but if I am allowed to only tell a person one marker, I'm going to tell them their school of consciousness. Why? Because that's how we become aligned with our higher spiritual nature. And there's 4 different types of fingerprints, and each of them is aligned with the school, and that's love, service, wisdom, and peace. You are in the school of service. So I've been around Mona. She's always wanting to help everybody all the time, and just, being in that place. And where you want to be in the school of service is in this place of joyful service, so that your gift, when you're aligned with it, and now she's aligned with her gift, so she doesn't waste a lot of time doing activities that are not in alignment with her gift. So she's very clear about that. And so she is actually in that place. The way that you can get in the school of service is because there's that innate desire to just help everybody with everything, is just give to the place of burnout, to the place where you don't want to give anymore. You've had it. And then you flip over into the other extreme, which is self-indulgence. And then you're not really satisfied. The period of self-indulgence can sometimes be a creative phase, because now it's like, okay, I overgave there. I lost myself over there with other people. I gave my power away. You see how that works in together. And now I'm reclaiming my power. I'm setting good boundaries. I'm taking good care of myself. And I've tuned into what truly is my joyful expression. And you are the creative individualist in beauty and aesthetics, as written in your hand. And then you start to come into that. And now you're living a life of meaning. And I have just seen you take that and want to expand that out.
Wow.
You've made a film, and now you're wanting to go across the country and touch the hearts of other hairdressers so that they can bring more consciousnness into their work, right? I mean, that's service.
Wow. Wow. Right? I love how you put it in a nutshell. It's just so amazing. And I know yesterday you were with with the client, and you made a huge difference in his life. And I want to know what your biggest highlight of, like, anyone that you're like, it just made such a difference in their lives, like one person.
Okay, one person. So I met this woman who came to me, and she came to me for a series of 3 readings. And that's how I like to read, because I like to go deep. First session is on the fingerprints only. Second session is on your personality psychology, your talents, your abilities, your gift markers. How do you think? How are you in relationship? What are your non-negotiable needs in relationship? That's huge to know. So all of those things. And then the third session is, how do these marry with each other? How do they, what's the dynamic between them, and how can you use that to best advantage? Be aware of the weaknesses and be aware of the strengths, and move more into the strengths. So this woman came to me. She was in her late 50s, and she had a lavender herb farm and had been very connected with nature and everything. But she had something that it's a gift marker, and it's called the Star of Neptune. Neptune was the god who went into the depths of the ocean. So it's about being able to go very deep into the emotions. She had the hugest one I have ever seen. And so I said to her, I don't know if this has ever crossed your mind. I said, but you would be very talented working with the death and dying. Oh, yes, she said, in my family, I've helped 6 or 7 people go transition. She said, I loved it. I was just, so she was looking for what to land because she was letting go of her old business and she was looking for a whole new thing. And now that's what she's been doing for years, is creating support groups for families around, how to support their loved one when they transition. So it was just, and it was just like, it just so rang for her. And she went out and, started getting training in it and got a website set up and started setting up her groups. And she's just blown with it.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good to know.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like when when I just decided that I'm not dead yet, I can learn. Um, I feel I'm much on a mission to do that, and it feels really good.
Yeah.
It feels really good to be doing what I'm here to do.
Yeah. So, and that's what, again, by the way, my life purpose is to be a spiritual life guide to help people find their life of meaning. Right? And that's in my hands before I knew anything about hands.
That's so crazy.
And so, it's like this is the perfect modality for me to be sharing with people. And I feel like at this time in the planet, when so many things are falling apart all around us, it's just, we just need to come to an alignment with our highest selves and bring our gifts fully into the world and create a new earth. Eckhart Tolle talks about that. Many people are talking about that. The old structures are going to die down, and there's millions and billions of people around the planet now waking up, and we need people to step forward with their gifts. So I'm particularly interested in weeding young people. I really am, so they can get started right away. I've had kids, 19, 20, and I tell them what's going on, the tears come down their face.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have goosebumps all over right now because it is. And I've also had many young people, it's mostly in their 30s, who didn't follow what they really wanted to do and get involved in a job or something, or, in an arena that's not really them. And when I tell them, what they might have, could have, should have, would have done, what's there in their hands, and the tears just fall because, they brushed up against it. I just recently read for a young woman, and she said, and she had the artist as her life purpose as well. And she said, I just 2 weeks ago decided that I was not going to pursue my artistic pursuits. She just decided to exit out of her life. Right? So this was huge for her. So by the end of the sessions, we found a way that she could incorporate that, and she got a pretty clear idea of what the direction she would like to go in terms of a vocation. Your purpose is not always your vocation. Sometimes it's about a state of being only. And for other people, it can be a vocation. It all depends. We're all very unique.
Wow, it's so crazy. That's all written in your hands.
I know.
And I think that's your company name, isn't it?
Yeah, written in your hands.
Written in your hands. What a perfect name.
Yeah. And that came from a client that you sent me years ago.
Really?
Yes, he was walking out the door, and he was actually in marketing and sales. And at the end of the session, I said, well, I need to find a name for my business. We were talking about some different things. And then he was going out, and I was teasing him about his life purpose, like literally just teasing him. Don't forget, you're meant to be X, Y, and Z. And he was like, oh, I don't know about that. And I went, it's written in your hands. And that was it. It just like, yes. And I feel the profundity of this, literally a personal instruction manual right in your very hands.
Crazy.
Right?
Well, thanks for being the translator. Because even if I look, I wouldn't know what to do.
That's right. No. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You need to become a sleuth.
Wow. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Nisha,
Mm,
for just taking your time and sharing with us. I really, really appreciate it.
thank
And
you.
just gives me an excuse to come back to this beautiful island, Salt Spring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You come and cut hair, and I'll come to Vancouver and read hands.
Exactly. We're a
Okay.
good team.
We are. Okay. Thanks so much, Mama.
Thanks.
Love you.
Bye.